I've been using the Google Pixel 3a XL for a month. Are the compromises and sacrifices you make worth it? Is it worth getting this over the Galaxy S10? Let's talk about it. Hello tech friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Craig. If you're into cool tech like this, you are in the right place. Links to anything I talk about will be in the description. Let's get started. I was invited to be a part of Team Pixel and was sent the Pixel 3a XL as a gift from Google. Thank you Google again for sending this over to try. For those of you that don't know, I am primarily an Apple user and started using Android about 2 months ago. My first Android phone is the Galaxy S10. For the past month, I've been using the Pixel 3a XL as my primary phone. After that month, this phone has me asking, is it worth paying flagship prices for an Android phone? Is it worth $400 to $500 more for the additional features of a phone like this? If you're an iPhone user, you don't really have a choice. But if you use Android, you have options like the Pixel 3a XL. I've had a great experience using this phone. Don't get me wrong, it is not a perfect phone. Compromises have definitely been made to reach the price point, but not in the areas that I think the average consumer would want. With its compromises, is it worth buying something like the Pixel 3a XL over the Galaxy S10? I only need one Android phone, so one of these has to go. Should I keep the Pixel 3a XL? Should I keep the Galaxy S10? Which one would you keep? I'll let you know my decision at the end. Let's do a quick recap of the specs and then on to my experience using the phone. The price is $479 for the 3a XL and $399 for the 3a. It has a 6-inch OLED display, stereo speakers, a headphone jack, only comes with 64 gigabytes of storage, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and runs a mid-tier Snapdragon 670 processor. Before getting into what I like about this phone, let's talk about the compromises being made. The first thing that you'll notice is the body of the phone. It is a polycarbonate phone. That means it's plastic. Being plastic, it does have a different feel to it. It is definitely lighter than my S10 or my iPhone, but it doesn't feel cheap. I'd say it feels solid and durable. This is the first phone in years that the majority of the time I've used it, it has not been in a case. After a month, I don't have any scratches on the back, and I figured after a month of use and this being plastic, I would have some scratches. I've been treating it like I would my S10 or iPhone that do have cases on, and maybe I've been lucky or Google has done a good job. The phone feels comfortable in the hand, it's easy to hold and not slippery without a case. I do feel a lot more confident holding this phone without a case compared to my S10, and maybe that's just because it's plastic. Another compromise is that this screen is not Gorilla Glass. I saw one reviewer say they got some scratches on the screen that they think would not have happened with Gorilla Glass. Another reviewer said that his screen cracked from a small drop. These things may have happened with Gorilla Glass and may not be related to the Dragon Tail glass that's being used instead. I do not have any scratches and have not dropped mine, so mine's still looking good. If you are concerned and you buy one of these, you can always put a screen protector on it. Next compromise to hit the price point is no wireless charging. Wireless charging is becoming standard in most phones these days. I do miss having wireless charging and do wish this phone had it. Most of the other compromises can be accepted in my mind, but this is a feature that should be here. This is something you should think about before buying the Pixel 3a. It does come with an 18-watt USB charger. A 15-minute charge will get you 7 hours of phone power, which is nice, but there still should be some wireless in here. Let's talk about some internal compromises that were made. The most noticeable limitation is the internal storage. The Pixel 3a only has a 64 gigabyte option. For those of you who store a lot of music, movies, photos, or other files on their device, this may not be enough. There also isn't an expandable SD slot in there, so you are stuck with just the 64 gigabytes. For me, I'm very cloud-based and streaming-based, so this doesn't really affect me. With everything available online or through the cloud, I'm good with the limited amount of storage. Next is the Snapdragon 670 processor. This is a mid-tier processor compared to the Snapdragon 855 many other companies are putting in their devices. So far, I've not noticed any lagging with the phone. Everything's been working fast. I mean, this phone only has 4 gigabytes of RAM in it, and in an Android phone, that's not a lot. But like I've said, I've not noticed any limitations. This is not very scientific, but here are some examples of opening up some of the apps I use. You can see that the Snapdragon 855 processor on the S10 is a bit faster than the Snapdragon 670 of the Pixel 3a. The speed difference is not bad. I think Google with stock Android is well optimized for this phone. I could see other manufacturer phones being bogged down with these specs and with their own software and bloatware. With Google creating the OS, this phone does well with the specs it has. I did do some gaming and played PUBG on the phone, and it was an enjoyable experience. I didn't have any issues at all. Everything moved quick. I can't complain. Let's talk about what this phone does right. One of the biggest things this phone does right is the display. This is what we look at every time we pick up the phone. So this is really important. Many other mid-tier phones compromise on the screen and often go with LCD. Google did not do that. It is a 2160 by 1080p OLED display with an 18 by 9 aspect ratio. The display is limited to 1080p HD. For comparison, the Galaxy S10 has a Quad HD display and can do 1440 resolution. You do get some bigger top and bottom bezels than some of the flagship phones, but I'm okay with the Pixel 3a display. I think at its size, you can get away with 1080p. The display is bright, has good colors and deep blacks. All things that you get with OLED over LCD. Next thing Google got right was having the same camera that the Pixels are known for. Pixel cameras are ranked as one of the best cameras on the market. With Google's AI and image processing, they deliver amazing photos. The portrait mode looks great. Low light photos are definitely better than most flagship phones with night sight. I've been really impressed with the photos out of the Pixel 3a. It does lack the dedicated image processing chip that the Pixel 3 has, so it takes a moment to see the processed photo. It also does not show you portrait mode in real time like other phones such as the iPhone 10 and the S10. Portrait mode requires post-processing to see the results and make adjustments. I've also been impressed with the video from the Pixel 3a. I think it has good video stabilization and the quality is great. With the phone camera being the #1 way that most people shoot photos these days, it's really important to have a great camera that can deliver great photos. I think the sound quality of the phone is great. Whether I've been on a regular call or on speakerphone, I've not heard any complaints from anyone. When I'm listening to music or watching videos, the sound has been good and I have plenty of volume. It would be nice with the larger bezels to have 2 front-firing speakers like the Pixel 3. The 3a has 1 front-firing and 1 side-firing speakers, but 2 front firings would be a nice improvement. Next, let's talk about the software. Being a Google phone, you're getting that pure Android experience. It is nice that out of the box, you're not getting any bloatware. You have Google suite of apps and nothing else. You also get the squeeze option on the phone that will bring up Google Assistant. I do like having that option. It's very convenient when I want to make a request. Overall, I like the pure Android experience and using the native Google apps. I personally like using a device that's made by the company that makes the software. You get to see what the creator wanted when they designed the software and the device, such as the Surface Pro being made by Microsoft and iOS devices being made by Apple. Let's talk about the 3700 milliamp battery. I found that battery life has been great on the phone. Much of my YouTube watching is done on my phone. I also use my phone constantly for comments and managing this channel. I've not ran out of battery during the day. I tend to average about 4 to 5 hours of screen time and have not fallen below 25% at the end of the day. I really don't do any mobile gaming, so I can't speak to its impact on the battery life. Now, to start wrapping this up, I do miss having wireless charging. This is not a flagship phone with the plastic body and the look of this phone. You do get the bigger bezels and the old school fingerprint sensor on the back. It definitely does not have a lot of storage with only 64 gigabytes, which is not a lot these days. But I still think it's a hit for most people. Google nailed the two most important things that I think the average consumer wants. It has a great looking display and a great camera. Those are the first two things that are usually sacrificed at this price point. Most people have no idea how much RAM or what processor is in the phone. They want to be able to do things quickly, take great pictures, and watch videos on a nice screen. I think Google filled a nice spot in the market with this phone. So many manufacturers keep raising prices and not offering much more. I think you have to ask yourself, for the features that you may want that this is missing, are those features worth $400 or $500 more? That'd be a decision that you have to make. I know I'm glad I got to use this phone. I think Google did the right things to make this phone worth it. Even with the compromises, I think it's good competition for the flagship phones. I hope it puts enough pressure on Apple and Samsung to stop raising prices. Now, what phone am I going to keep? Other than wireless charging, I did not find myself really missing my Galaxy S10. By the time I put a case on this to protect it and not destroy it if I were to drop it, it's about the same size as this phone right here. This does have a beautiful Quad HD display, but is it worth that extra cost? I don't know. This takes care of everything that I need. It's been a great phone, and that's why this is going to be my only Android phone. I am going to sell this phone before it loses any more value. I will say, as a new Android user, these flagship Android phones drop in value quick. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button to see more videos, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified. You could help support the channel and see additional content with that Patreon link over here. Also, you can find Amazon affiliate links in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.